Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. We've got AssumeList in the house. We've got a special session with Nora. What's up? How are you?
It's so great to see you, Tristan. We are kicking butt and taking names, helping families save money from coast to coast and Hawaii.
Oh, nice. I like that. I like that. And today we're going to be talking about increasing our revenue as real estate agents, brokers in the real estate world. And you've also got a $600 gift or value add for everybody here.
Yes, we do. We're very excited to announce this. So guess what?
Tell me.
So some of you may know that I have been teaching the neuroscience of sales.
Yes.
For 16 years.
I didn't know that part.
Worked with hundreds of agents in every one of the 50 states. I have given talks at conferences for thousands of agents. And I'll be honest with you, I am a very high-priced young lady.
I like that.
The only doubtful word in that sentence is young.
That's funny.
I am an accurately very high-priced, maybe young lady. So,
you're practically a professor. You've got a doctorate in this thing.
I know. I have a PhD in sales, baby. So what we've done is we've created a special AssumeList webinar that is customized and attuned to each and every subscriber. So every subscriber who signs up from now till whenever this offer is over, but so sign up now, will get to work with me using a neuroscience of sales strategy to double their business. And the way we do that, and this is something I've been teaching, I find that any real estate agent or team has it in them to double business within 3 to 6 months. Like just using basic principles of neuroscience, principles of my neuroscience of sales stuff is pretty cool. And there's stuff that people learn that they haven't heard before, but a lot of it feels both true and new, right? And so I've helped hundreds of teams double their revenue in 3 to 6 months. Mm-hmm. And one of the most important pieces that I use when I do that is I say, we have to create something that you invite people to. Because I am tired of hearing about all these different training programs at all these different real estate firms where they go, we love training. We're all about training. We're all about support and training. Now, hey, person, if you're an old timer, make sure you're writing your cards and sending people happy birthday, and make sure you're, writing anniversary cards on the anniversaries of the times that people bought their homes, and make sure you're doing pop buys, and make sure you're just in touch with people. And if you're a newbie, it's, call everyone you know and say, I'm in real estate now. And I believe that both of those are super boring, vanilla milk toasty things that don't get very exciting results. However, if you call everyone you know, or you make sure to have a practice of, I'm going to make sure everyone in my network gets an invitation to something that's valuable, to something that's real, to something that's tangible, that's a whole different ballgame.
All right. So along those lines,
yes, sir.
We've got November, we've got Thanksgiving, so that's cool. And then we've got December, which we have a whole bunch of holidays, and the new year. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of opportunities to create some type of an event that makes people feel great. When it comes to an event, what do you suggest we do that could be the easiest lift for us so we can get started?
So this is the $600 gift. So the $600 gift is, we're going to teach you how to do this event. And if you would like, doesn't have to be this, but if you would like, the event could be, let's say it's you, Tristan, it could be a webinar hosted by Tristan with this lady named Nora Simpson, who's the head of education for AssumeList. That's just for Tristan's friends. It's not on StreamYard. It's not on YouTube, right? It's just for Tristan's friends. It's got a unique registration for Zoom. It's happening at 5 p.m. on a Thursday, or, 12 noon on a Sunday, or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And you invite everyone to it, everyone in your world, and you just say, I just want you to know what's going on with Assumable Mortgages. It may or may not be relevant to you, but 75% of homeowners in our country right now have a mortgage interest rate below 5%. And so there are a lot of homeowners that feel anxious about moving because they don't want to give up that really gorgeous low interest rate, that really juicy low interest rate that they've got on their home right now. And this is one way where you don't have to trade in and get a high interest rate. You can actually go purchase something with a low interest rate, but it's complex and it's fully regulated. It's a federally guaranteed benefit with a legally regulated process. And I've got the lady who teaches about it every day coming just to talk to my friends, just to talk to people in my world.
I love that. So in essence, we could use you as a secret weapon too.
Exactly. And if it's you and me, Tristan, when I come on that special private Zoom where it's just you and your network, the first thing I say is, oh my gosh, you guys, Tristan is so forward thinking. He's so innovative. You guys are so lucky that he's telling you about this, that he's sharing the great news about assumptions with you. Did you know that 99% of agents are actively avoiding assumptions right now because they have so many myths and misconceptions? But Tristan has so much curiosity and so much commitment to rigor that he has educated himself, and he's here to give you guys access to these federally guaranteed, legally regulated processes that could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in mortgage interest.
I like that. I like the approach too, because you're putting us at the front of everything. We're bringing you on there, but you're making us look great.
Well, we don't want, AssumeList is structured to be an agent tool. It's structured to help agents grow their businesses. It's not actually, well, how many buyers can we get to work with us? We actually want to see agents get buyers and sellers to work with them. That's what we're so passionate about. And I'll tell you something else, Tristan. Right now, we're having, we're trying so hard to connect with agents and make sure that agents feel so supported. They get this free webinar that's a $600 value, and that's something that I will strategize with them about. They just have to pick a time, pick a date. I will show up. I will give them scripts and specifics, and here's how to promote it. And now go to it. Go let your network of 3,000 people know, right, that you're hosting this. And some of them will say to you, is it going to be recorded? Yes, it will, right? And then whether it's my Zoom or their Zoom, we'll make sure to record it. If it's my Zoom, I'll send them the recording. It's not that complicated, right? So we'll have, and we've done this for agents, and we've got like the Zoom registration, and we've got the Zoom banner, and everything looks pretty. And so people will get excited about this, whether or not they can actually make it. People will get excited to hear that you are an innovator trying to bring them useful information that could make an incredibly enormous impact on their finances, that you're trying to do this for them, whether or not they're available that night. You can get excited. I mean, this is what I coach people to say, don't worry, it will be recorded. We would love to have you in the room because you can ask Nora any question while you're there, but we will record it and we will distribute the recording. So please let us know if you want the recording, et cetera, et cetera. So it's an opportunity for multiple touches, which of course is essential for relationship building and turning people into clients and referral sources. And this is one thing that I've been teaching with neuroscience of sales for a very long time, which is that you need to be in very consistent communication with people so that they don't forget your name. And they will forget your name.
Oh yeah, they will.
And these days, because I also, the way Mike met me, like through AssumeList, is that I give so many talks. I give talks on neuroscience of sales, but I also give talks on the neuroscience of distraction, which is deeply related to sales. Because a lot of real estate agents get in touch with people and have wonderful conversations with them. And then they believe that something terrible has gone wrong because they never hear from that person again.
Yeah. What did I do? They don't love me.
And what you did is you followed up twice. And then you assumed that because they didn't quite get to you after 2 tries, that means they don't like you anymore. Yeah. And what it actually means, it does not mean that. What it actually means is that they are overwhelmed with distraction.
Oh, it's going to get worse.
It I have all the data. I teach neuroscience of distraction to so
right.
many groups. Yeah,
Nora, help me out, because we've got the title, Double Your Fall Revenue. Obviously,
absolutely.
part of that is going to be going through AssumeList, bringing you on board, doing an event that's similar to that, and
Yep.
either bringing you on or doing something like that.
Right.
But on top of that,
Sure.
I want to hear some actionable things that I can do just in the next 2 months that I can help myself change, develop, and use some of your neuroscience skills to do that. Where would
For
I
sure.
start?
So the first thing to remember is that the way that we've structured the webinar offer is you are actually going to have a legitimate reason to make the 10 to 15 touches you're going to need to have people in your world be excited to talk to you, excited to refer business to you, and excited to work with you when they realize that you're offering them something really powerful.
Got it.
So much of the neuroscience of sales is about understanding how to intentionally and almost, the word I like to use is curate, to
Like that.
intentionally curate a growing sense of trust and safety with a large number of people who feel excited that they are growing this sense of trust and safety with you, so that there is a subset of those people who do business with you in the next 3 to 6 months.
I like that. Perfect timing, because we've got March is the best time to start putting your home on the market. It starts getting better, right? March, April. So that's good. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So give me some specifics as to the neuroscience I can start using at least in the next month. Like, how do I approach this?
For sure. So there's a couple of pieces. The first is, I always teach that you have to understand that human beings are not individual owners of our brains. Our brains developed over more than 50 million years of our most recent evolution in tribes and not as individual beings. So the brain itself flourishes at its best inside of warm, healthy, functional tribe. And in the United States of America, almost no one has access to reliably warm, healthy, and functional tribe. So believe it or not, for business owners, and I've been teaching this, I've taught this to 700 companies across 80 industries and thousands of people. And that's separate from, all the real estate folk. When you're a small business owner and you're seeking to create an experience where people go from either knowing you a little bit or not knowing you at all to within 2 to 3 months actually saying to themselves, I'm so glad Tristan is in my life. You can actually curate that experience for them by putting into practice an experience of the ingredients of healthy functional tribe, which we all need. And by the way, by putting into play healthy functional tribal ingredients for people in your world, you'll also feel those ingredients mirrored back to you, and you'll feel more fulfilled and more joyful even as you're building your business.
I like that. All right. How do we start building healthy, functioning tribes? Where would we start?
Wonderful. So we're going to talk. I'll try to take less than 30 seconds to do the theoretical piece. The theoretical piece is that all tribes are made of a good enough combination of good information, warm interaction, healthy structures for consistent action that move towards some kind of positive, constructive vision.
Wow.
So I call that clarity, support, structure, vision. Those are the 4 most important ingredients in any group of people and in any individual one-on-one relationship.
All right. Can you repeat that? What do you call that?
Clarity, support, structure, vision. If you have all 4 in enough amounts, they don't have to be perfect. They just have to be enough. You will have a functional relationship. You will have a functional group. You will have a functional sales opportunity. You will have a functional family, a functional classroom, a functional business. Clarity, support, structure, and vision. So what we do is we use clarity, support, structure, and vision in our webinar invitation structure, which crazily enough, the pre-webinar piece, the invitations, the hope you can make it, it's happening next week, hope you can make it, it's happening tomorrow, right? The post webinar, wow, that was such a great webinar. Thank you guys so much for your participation, your great energy, your terrific questions. Sorry if you missed it, here's the recording. All of that pre and post webinar stuff gives you a mission driven or a vision driven reason to be in touch with people with clarity, support, and structure. And what that does is it turns on all of their safety and trust receptors.
Yeah, because you're matching all the key ingredients.
That's right. And so they go, oh my God, Tristan is so great. I'm so grateful. I don't know if that Assumable thing is for me, but Tristan has worked so hard to really create something really special here. I just, maybe I should invite him to the potluck I'm hosting for the PTA.
Interesting, Nora. You're describing exactly everything, like word for word. And I don't know that you and I have talked about this before. This is interesting. You're describing how I built LabCoat Agents and the exact comments, messages, and emails I get daily from everybody. Like, this is exactly what you just said. And when I look back and I'm like, clarity, support, vision, structure, I'm like, wait a second, I did that by accident. This is why we built it so big. This is how we always show up. So that's beautiful, Nora. Great job on this.
Thank you so much. I always like to say, for people who've achieved success, they can't achieve success without these things.
Yep.
So what I end up doing for those people, just like you just had this experience, is they end up going, oh, there's a name for this thing that I've already been doing, right? It turns out these are the ingredients of the healthy tribe. And that's how any business is successful. And missing pieces of those 4 ingredients, like really problematically missing pieces, are the reason for every time it fails.
I like that. So you, in essence, through the $600 value, by the way, I think it's more now, through the 600 plus for sure value.
I told you I'm a very high price lady. My actual numbers when I work with teams are pretty high. we had to pick a plausible number.
It makes sense. It's like when Mr. Beast says, I'm giving away $2 million and nobody believes it, but he says, I'm giving away 100,000. And then everybody's like, I'm in. I'm like, okay. Right. So great psychology approach on that. This part though, you're actually offering a lot here because you're going to take us through the structure to build out our better audience, our community, our tribe, and saying, hey, guys, I know you've been doing it, but let me show you exactly how to do it so that you can connect with more people. Absolutely. And you're giving us an actual event as well.
That's right. That's right. With a celebrity,
I like that.
I've got that celebrity face ready to go. It's so ready.
Great. All right. So event, ingredients. How would we translate this to something of substance that isn't maybe an event, like maybe just showing up with more value consistently? Because after the event, how do we continually offer that value longer term?
So one thing that I love to say is, if you're going to double your business in 3 to 6 months, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to save some of the new money you've made for the next event. Because what I like to do with agents and agent teams is I like to say, it's actually good to think of yourself as running a calendar of reasons to be in touch with people that are high value across the year. And so what you're looking for is you're looking to do this webinar to kind of jumpstart everything. And then most agents don't like to put on a ton of events in spring market, because we all know spring market is extremely intense. But the idea is you save some of those dollars that you've earned in doubling your business in spring market, and you say, now I'm going to put on an event in the summer that's renting out a full movie theater for a summer blockbuster, right? Something easy, something fun. Again, get in touch with everyone. We're so excited. It doesn't have to be by hand. It can be over email, a blast. We're so excited. We're hosting. We've bought out this movie theater on a Sunday afternoon for the new Star Wars movie, right? Because there's always a new one, right? And if it's not Star Wars, it's Marvel, right? So we've bought the, we've bought it out, and we want y'all to come, and so that I love always advising my clients that the magic here is you want to mix and match. You want to actually have stuff that is a little, when you think of clarity, support, structure, vision, they symbolize kind of 4 categories of thinking in the brain. And in fact, this is another piece of my neuroscience magic, is that it turns out you can map the brain, like the human brain, based on prioritizing those 4 ingredients for healthy tribe. So we have names for these things. It's not rocket science, it's neuroscience. When you're seeking clarity, I think you'll recognize this word, Tristan. When you're seeking clarity, it's called analytical thinking. When you're seeking support, I call that relational processing, because I give my own names to things. But a lot of folks would say your empathy your empathy receptors are on, your empathy processors are on. I like to call it relational processing. When you're seeking structure and you're seeking to understand how actions are unfolding to create results, people call that sequential thinking or structural thinking. I call it structural processing. And the one thing that we have a very wide debate about when it comes to how you think in an innovative way, or people call it divergent thinking. There's many, many names for this. I call it conceptual processing. And that's the sort of urge to allow the transcendence of human possibility into your thinking, into your perception. And inside of transcendence, you have fun, you have comedy, you have silliness, you have creativity, you have wacky, cool, fun, goofy things. Go ahead.
All right. So from these 4,
yes,
is there one that stands out more that most people connect with the most to enter your world? Or is it?
The truth is, everyone has different entry points, and having a good enough balance across your events of these 4 ingredients is part of the magic. So having a sort of a heady analytical discussion about assumable mortgages, that absolutely, that presses that analytical button for a lot of your analytical people. But making sure that 6 to 8 months later, you're having like a big movie theater party or a big potluck or a big something that's friendly and fun, right? That presses the fun and vision button more than the analytical button. Now,
It's almost like the 4 personalities, it's almost like it's a DISC assessment.
Exactly. In point of fact, I have mapped these 4 processing modes onto more than 30 different psychographic tools, including the DISC profile. But if you read information produced by the DISC profile folks, there's pieces missing because they base it on the research of William Marston, who's the guy who invented the DISC profile. And honestly, William Marston was only researching Harvard male students in the 1920s and Radcliffe students, just very briefly in the 1920s. So most of it is research based on men from the 1920s. They were the wealthiest men in the US. My stuff is a little more inclusive because it's based on research I did in Africa, Latin America, South Asia, as well as men, women, and children from across many, many different economic backgrounds in the US and Europe.
I like that. All right. So if someone is interested in jumping into this, because I feel like we're barely scratching the surface on this.
Sure.
Do they email you at nora@assumelist.com? Is that how they get into this?
Absolutely. Nora@assumelist.com. And yeah, we're doing, you can schedule your promo webinar. The other thing I think I've forgotten to say until this very moment is that the way that they get their free month is that we get them, we get one buyer pre-approved with our lender partner. And that's an unlimited offer. If you get 12 buyers pre-approved with our lender partner, you will get 12 free months of AssumeList. And we love our lender partner. He's actually licensed in 49 states. He works with a brokerage so he can get banks to compete for the business of the buyers and lower their prices ever so slightly in terms of, different pieces of the loan, et cetera. So if and when your lender partner, we always say get pre-approved for the primary as part of the process for getting ready for your assumption. So we know that not everyone who starts out looking for an assumption is going to end up closing on an assumption, because sometimes they just really want to look at homes that are not assumable, since that's 90% of the marketplace. So we just want to make sure that we've set everybody up for success with assumptions, but also that we've set them up with the best possible lender who's going to save their buyers the most money.
I like this. All right. Who's the lender? I think we've had him on a couple of times, haven't we?
I can't share that information because I guess I could share that information. If you reach out to him, you should tell him you heard about him through AssumeList and you're wanting to get an AssumeList free month. If you don't do that, then you won't get your AssumeList free month.
That's true.
So his name is Ryan Nelson and he's with Barrett Financial.
Yeah, I think we've had him on before.
Yeah,
so
he's great. Yeah, he's great.
He's awesome. Extremely knowledgeable.
Yeah, knows so much for sure.
All right. Just like you on this. I love this.
Thank you. It's so nice to do.
It's really good. All right, everybody, please email Nora at nora@assumelist.com.
That's me.
You'll get all the magic and all the value, which is a lot. I would say having this session and sitting down with some of our past clients in Sphere would be very valuable because then it'll set us apart.
Absolutely.
Just by you going through this whole process. I love this.
Yeah. I hope you take advantage of your free webinar, Tristan.
I might bring you on for a different group, which would be great.
I'd love that. Yeah.
Thank you. And then we'll just dive into all of this good stuff.
Yeah. Love it.
All right. Have an awesome day, everybody. Thank you so much for jumping in. Appreciate it. Neville says, excellent presentation. Thanks, Nora and Tristan. Neville, she's pretty awesome, man. Like, very, very impressed. Like, this is good stuff. So thank you, Neville. Thank you. And thank you, everybody else. Nora, you did great. Thank you.